out here at Delmar, Good Guys show. Was walking around looking at cars, and I saw Michael driving up in this 1970 Chevelle, and I quickly stopped him and introduced myself and asked him if he wanted to do a little walk around video about his 70 Chevelle, and he said yes. So this is Michael over here. Michael, tell us where you're from and how this car came about.
Yeah, so I'm local to San Diego. I live in Rancho Penasquitas, and this Chevelle was my dad's before he died. So this car was his daily driver. He actually had two of these Chevelles, and he took the parts off the good one, of the body panels, and put it on the one with the good interior, and just kind of mixed and matched them. So he drove this car for most of my childhood. As long as I can remember, he's taken me to school in this thing, and I've just been in the passenger seat half my life. And so around 2017, he passed away, and this car's been sitting in our garage for about five years. So one day I decided to get it working, and I was in high school. I was 18 years old, and I just started getting the engine running, doing tune-ups on it, and just picking up where he left off. So I just been adding my own stuff to it, but it's pretty much the same how he left it.
So you inherited it from your dad?
Yes.
And you said you had said something about that this was originally a California car, and then he moved back east, took it with him for a while, and then came back here.
Yeah, so from my memory, this is a California car, and he took it to New York with him.
Okay.
And he had this in New York, so he used to drive this around in New York a lot, and he raced a few cops in it and got out a few tickets with it.
Do you remember or know around the time that he purchased this Chevelle?
I do not. I remember vaguely this car being in the garage in pieces when we had our old house back in Poway, but that's all I remember.
So maybe 80s or so?
Probably
90s?
Early 2000s.
Okay.
He wasn't the original owner though.
Okay, so he's had it so it's been in your family for about 20 years?
Yeah, about.
Give or take?
Yes.
Okay. And what kind of condition was it when you started driving it?
When I started picking up it was exactly like this. So it was under a cover, and pretty much how you see it was how he left it. So I just kept it exactly how he had it because the car is so sentimental to me.
Sure.
So I love this thing.
So I would think that he would be really proud of you to take over the car. And I have to say, you're obviously a younger guy, which is great. And I love seeing that because I think the younger generation is not as much into these cars as what my generation was back in high school. I mean, this is what we drove in high school. So how was that? You said you did drive it in high school or just right after?
I was in my senior year. I was 18 years old. I just turned 18 and I started getting this car to drive.
And so what was the reaction of other classmates when you drive up in a 1970 Chevelle to school?
I didn't actually drive it to my school because I had some issues, but I showed pictures and my classmates were stoked about it. They're really digging it. I actually brought a few of them along for a ride.
Yeah.
But
so it's something that obviously they don't see all the time because, like I said, these cars aren't on the top of the list of what the new, younger generation want to be driving around, right?
Yes.
Can we open up the hood and check out the engine?
Yes.
Do you know much details about the engine?
So my dad's best friend, his name was Dan, he built the engine. So I believe this was a LS6 car, a 454 originally, because it has a lot of big block provisions on it already. And that engine blew up because he liked to take this thing to the drag strip in Verona. So his buddy built him this 350. There's a cam in it. It's got dual hump heads from a Corvette. And that's all I really know about it.
Okay, so this engine's been in it for quite some time.
It's been in it for about 5 years. It's relatively new, but it doesn't have much miles on it. Because he passed before he could really get it driving with all of it.
And did your dad, and sorry to hear about your dad passing, was it like talked about that you were going to take over the car?
Yes. So I don't want to get into too much detail about it, but we had some fights over the will with his family. And one thing that was guaranteed was this car to me. Yeah. So this car was absolutely going to me no matter what happened.
You weren't gonna let it go.
No.
That's great. And to not want to let it go and to be out here to see just cruising around and having fun with it at a Good Guys car show, I mean, that's great. I mean, like I said, that would make me proud if my son took my car and kept it going and just went and used it for what it is and going and enjoying it. Yeah. So that's awesome. I'm really, I think that's, I really like that I'm seeing that. Can you tell me about the paint job? How long has the car been painted?
Oh, you're like this. So I believe this car has 3 paint jobs in its life.
Okay.
For what I can remember and what I found on it. So this car was originally like a beige color.
Okay.
And I believe it was painted either red or blue. And then this paint job now was done in Ramona in a chicken coop.
Really?
Yeah, so this car was done in the mountains in some dude's chicken coop. I actually found the guy that did it.
Really?
I asked some locals and I gave him a name. I can't remember his name now, but we found the dude that painted it and he remembers the car. And he showed me his booth. It was just some chicken coop.
Do you have a bunch of pictures and stuff like that your dad, that your dad had from back in the day and whatnot, or that's kind of missing?
Not really.
Yeah.
Well, I only have about 2 pictures and they're on my computer.
Really?
So there isn't a whole lot I had to go with when I was redoing this car. I had to just learn from it.
Sure. What are your plans with the car now that you have it out and enjoying it?
So I've been driving this for about 2 years now, and I just plan to keep driving it. I don't plan to not drive it. I drive this car almost every day, pretty close to it. Of course, I have a Camry, but this car is just so fun to drive.
Sure, so you have something that's a daily.
Yes.
But this is there for you when you want to enjoy it, like today.
Yes. I love to take this thing to the mountains. Let me tell you something, I'm not a baby with this car. I love to drive this car to its full ability.
Yeah.
So I just enjoy every moment with it.
The paint job looks good, but it's something that you can drive and it's not all like tricked out to where, I mean, it does look like it's got some aftermarket parts put on. I see it's got a carb spacer and some other things. So I'm guessing it's got a little bit of pep to it, which is great, but something that you can still drive.
Yes.
Okay. Man. And again, like today's a Friday. You're off of work and you're out here at Good Guys.
Yes.
What drives you to come out here? Like, you just really love these old cars, or?
I want to go because every year I go to Good Guys. I was
Okay.
actually an award winner last year for the next generation.
Really?
Yes. So I have a sticker right there.
Can I open up the door?
Of course. But
Keep on going. I want to hear the story.
yeah, I just love seeing these cars. I'm not going to be here for the full 3 days. I'm coming back again on Saturday with my stepdad. But I just love seeing these cars. I'm here with my best friend today, so I want to show him all these cars too, because he just likes the ocean.
Sure.
I love these cars.
Man, this is awesome.
If I could daily this thing, I would absolutely do it. If gas was cheaper, I would in a heartbeat.
Well, and there's a lot of people that talk about, dailying their classic and stuff, and the reality comes down to is that, yeah, it's one thing to drive them, but then it's another to worry about where you park them, because a lot of people don't they just don't understand these cars. So it's not that they purposely disrespect them, but like you got to be careful where you park them, because door dings and just little stuff that is, yeah.
Yeah, it happens. Absolutely. That's something that I think about, but
and let alone you
driving
can't replace it.
Yes.
So the more you drive it on the road, the more possibilities of something happening and you can't replace it. So you have to be careful. Man, this thing is awesome. I love the tires and the wheels. That is definitely like back when I was in high school. So I graduated in '95, and back in my high school days with my Chevelle and then my friends and everything, we went after these wider rally wheels with these bigger meats in the back. That was like the prime setup, because you didn't have a lot of aftermarket wheels like you do today. And this right here is like our high school setup, like what we all wanted. So that is pretty cool to see. What size are these?
These are 295s.
Yeah.
These are my dad's Envisions too. Like I said, the exact setup is how he had it before he passed. So I believe he had a 305s possibly, because I remember he used to get picky about what tires he put on this.
Sure. We used to run the BFGs also. This is exactly the setup. Like I said, if I went back and pulled pictures from back in the day of, my buddies' cars and whatnot. I mean, this is the hot setup. This was it. So do you know, I mean, obviously the car looks like it's a little lowered in the front. Do you know what kind of suspension or what components?
Yeah, so what you can't see, I put Eibach Pro Touring springs on it.
Okay.
And I put new shocks in it and all that jazz. I've redone all the suspension. So the front end of the suspension and the back end are all done. So this thing is just ready to ride.
This is cool, man. I had no idea what I was walking up to when I saw you driving. I saw you were younger and I was like, man, this is pretty cool. It's a really nice 70 Chevelle. And it's just great to hear the story because one of two things. One, that it's been in your family for so long. Two, that you kept your dad's car and you kept it not just, you're out here having fun with it yourself. That's what this community needs, is a lot more people taking over on their families' cars and keep them going. Keep them going. Is there any, I mean, I always love to give some special thanks to anyone. Is there anyone that's helped you out throughout the way with this car that you would love to say thanks to, that, recognize anyone, any shops or any personal friends?
Yeah, 3 people.
Okay.
So I want to thank my stepdad, David, for helping encourage me to do all this, because it's a pretty big chore to take this on.
Right.
So I want to encourage him for helping me supporting me through all this and financially doing it at the start. And the second person is, I want to thank my good buddy, Lee. He works at Ford C&G. He's actually has a booth right here right now.
Okay.
He helped put me in the direction of like what I want to do with this car. Like, do I want to keep it original or go, drag setup? And he helped teach me all these little details about the engines, the A-body setups. So he taught me a lot of the stuff that no one ever would tell me.
Right.
And then the third person, it's not really a person, but it's a group. I want to thank Team Chevelle, because they
Yes.
have so many forums and people, and I respect the knowledge. Even though some of
Man.
the people aren't around anymore, I just love reading forums from 2000. It's just so nice to see what people have done, right?
That is super cool that you bring up Team Chevelle. I was an avid user of Team Chevelle for years. I've kind of grown away from the forums just because they've kind of slowed down a little bit. But that is awesome. How did you come across it? Just by Google searching?
I just searched up my car and some problems, and then Team Chevelle was the first one. And they consistently popped up. And so I became a member on my next birthday on 19th, my turn 19. I became a member and I was like, hey, I've been around. You guys haven't seen me, but I love the forum. So they're very helpful. It's so helpful.
That's awesome. So check this out. Just because I'm going to give a little shout out on my side, are you familiar? Have you ever heard of Cruising PCH in like Huntington Beach area?
I believe so.
Okay, so in July, we have an all Chevelle special meetup for that. There's a bunch of guys coming from NorCal down to Southern California, and I would love for you to come and participate and hang out with all the rest of the Chevelles. You seem like you're very enthusiastic about showing off the car and participating, so I would love for you to come up to us, because you're down here in San Diego, and come hang out. I'll give you that information after we do this video. But man, super cool story. I love the stories. It's not just about the car or the cars being exactly perfect. It's about the stories behind them. So again, this is Michael's 70 Chevelle. It was his dad's. He took on the legacy for his dad, and it's just great to see a younger generation doing that. So hopefully you guys like this video. Let me know down in the comments what you think about it. It's got that old vibe to it. Obviously, old vibe, when I say it's like the old vibe with the wheels and the tires. I mean, that kind of setup was from, my era, 90s, late 80s, early 90s throughout, before all the big wheel stuff started taking over. So that's really cool to see this car set up this way. Again, my name's Nick. Thank you, Michael, for telling us the story. I'm gonna let you be about the day, and we'll see you guys on the next video. Thanks for watching.